Today I'm celebrating Louise Hay. Now, in my life as a celebrant, it's my job to really learn everything that I possibly can about the individual who I'm honouring, either through their marriage or at their funeral, their cremation. And so it's a job that I take very seriously. And so it may seem frivolous, or that I'm not putting my heart into this, the fact that I don't really study the people that I'm talking about, and maybe in future incarnations of this project as it develops I will take more time to learn people's birthdays and the days that they die and what happens in the course of their lives, but there's no way I could do that much research at the moment, nor do I think I need to, because the whole point of this for me is about showing how these individuals have inspired me just with the experience that I've had of them, without needing to substantiate the story with details and with information and data. What's important is the role that they've had in my life, the ways in which they've inspired me, and the 365 festivals I also think of as the patron saints of Gaia, or alternatively the genius tree. And it's about honouring the genius in each and every person. We all have a genius to honour. And the genius is the unique style or talent that we each bring into this world. So when I see someone who gets in touch with their genius and brings their talent into the world, that's something that I want to celebrate. Now, Louise Hay is one of the women that I do not know anything about, beyond the fact that she was born this day. Was she born? Did she die this day? You see, I don't even know. But today, whether it's her birthday or the day that she left this planet, I wish to honour her today for the influence that she's had in my life and for the courage with which she spoke her truth. Now, for anyone who's not familiar with Louise Hay, she wrote a book called You Can Heal Your Life. And I remember when I first saw this book as a young skeptic thinking, what a load of rubbish. She was a fairly elderly American woman at that time, and I remember thinking, oh my goodness, this is so American, this is so glib, it's so reductive. She offers mantras to be recited as a means of healing. I've never personally found myself drawn to using her mantras, but what I have found extremely interesting is the insights that she's shared as to the emotional causes of many of our physical ailments. Now, Louise Hay, in her book You Can Heal Your Life, I've never even read the book. There's a short section in the book where you can look up, like an A to Z, the ailment that you're suffering from and be able to find what the emotional correlation is with that condition. And if it wasn't for the fact that it has been so spot on, in my experience, I would be embarrassed to talk about it. But the first time that I looked at this book, I thought, well, I've had long-term conditions. I mean, they're actually healed now. I don't suffer from asthma and eczema anymore. But when I was a young man, I really did. All the way through my childhood, it probably only faded in my 20s. After many years of trying to deal with these conditions, I can't even be sure if I healed them, if they were healed, or if they just naturally went away with the aging process. But the two conditions I first looked up were asthma and eczema. Asthma, she described as the symptom of suppressed crying and over-mothering. I was a mother's boy, and I had to wrestle a little bit with the suppressed crying to sort of see if I could find some truth in that. Now, I definitely can see some truth in that analysis. With eczema, I can't even remember how it was described, but one of the things that I found so interesting looking through the list of symptoms was the description of insect bites and animal bites, uh, which basically work as a wake-up call that there's something in our life. And in fact, I think that's the way I understand our body calling out to us now. When we suffer from a particular condition, it's because our body is trying to bring something to our awareness. Through the language of the body, it can say, you've got a problem with your hands because you're not gripping something correctly. You've got a problem. Oh God, I've had neck problems at different moments. Infections on my neck, not being able to move my neck. And then it correlates to not being able to look around you. Or I'm perhaps misremembering that, but I've had injuries at various points, injuries with a knee or with a hip or a collarbone, and I've found it to be extremely illuminating to turn to You Can Heal Your Life and have a look at this reference section. You can almost always find it online somewhere. There's lots of sites that have ended up including it. I know that there's another French author who wrote a book called Dis-moi ce que tu as et je te dirai pourquoi. Tell me what you've got and I'll tell you why. So she's not the only person in this world who's kind of, there are many healers who have this same understanding that the human body is talking to us in a very particular language and telling us where our issues are originating from. Aside from the animal bites and the injuries occurring in different parts of my body, one of the other things that she asserts is that dementia is the result of a desire to flee from death, to not be present for that moment, like a fear of death. And certainly as I think of my own mother, I feel like it's very accurate. There were many, many other conditions that I've looked at over the years, and when I've either suffered or someone close to me has suffered, and I'm not going to say that all illness is the result of, or all injuries can be boiled down in such a reductive way, but it can be very illuminating to consult her book, and so I highly commend it to you. It's been very, very interesting to me, very provocative as a thing to consider. It's helped me to get to the bottom of some of my issues, and for all of these reasons I wish to honour the life of Louise Hay and her amazing book You Can Heal Your Life. A moment of silence to celebrate her contribution, her unique genius here on this planet, giving thanks for the life of Louise Hay.